Hello everybody, Animation Trainer here, and today we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. Next up is, I guess, the only film that doesn't really have a reference to any of the Avengers. Which, back when this film was coming out, everyone was, like, surprised that Marvel was taking the risk of bringing a bunch of comic book characters that a lot of people didn't really know about, without giving them solo films. And how was it done? Oh, it was very well done. Really well done. Like, introducing all five of the Guardians could have been very messy. And this film, honestly, if it wasn't handled right, it would have been a total mess of a film. But here, Marvel did it, and they made the film great. And they made everything very well done without the need of making like 5 solo movies for each character. Well, I guess maybe 4, since they could probably do Rocket and Groot in one movie. But yeah. And yeah. It's all just very well done. And then all 5 of the Guardians are unique with their own personality as well. Which I'll talk about each one of the Guardians later in the review. And I'm always watching the film. The movie is very interesting. Like, you're always stuck onto the film. Like, it's very interesting and you always want to watch the film. And you don't want to take breaks in between or anything. Like, that's the thing with some films. Like, some films are all like, okay, maybe I think I want to play a little bit of video games and then I'll come back to this part. No, you want to watch the movie. And the fight scenes, while they're not the best in the MCU, with an exception of maybe an action scene, none of them are exactly the best action scenes, but they all are still really great. Like, there's one scene where Drax throws Rocket's blaster to him, and I thought that the slow motion that they did and the music that they put on that scene was not just awesome, but I thought it was also hilarious. So it was very well done. And something I was very surprised about with the film is the humor. You do not know how many times I laughed in this film. This film is just hilarious. So, we got a bunch of well-done characters, a plot that is very interesting and always keeps you in, and awesome action, and hilarious jokes. Oh my gosh. Can this film get better? And I know I don't usually talk about music, but the music is spectacular here. And all 5 of the Guardians are all really interesting. Like, Peter Quillman, aka Star-Lord, is a very interesting character. Like, he's the one we get to know most about with the film, since the beginning of the film circles mostly around him. And I really do enjoy, like, his backstory and stuff. And I do think that he is, well, he's not my favorite Guardian, but I think he's, the most interesting character in the film. Then we also have Gamora, and I do like how they gave her the backstory with how she was the adoptive daughter of Thanos, which, if you don't know who Thanos is, he's supposed to be able to get all 6 Infinity Stones, and he's going to be the villain in Avengers 3, Part 1 and Part 2, which is going to be very intense. And yeah, I like that they gave her that backstory and how she was fighting had to fight her sister later on in the film. And yeah, her and Star-Lord are definitely the most interesting characters in the film. And then there's also Groot, which, while he only has 12 lines in the entire film, simply because of his limited vocabulary, I am Groot. And then that one, we are Groot. I really do enjoy Groot in this film. Like, I guess you could consider him like Boba Fett from Star Wars, since even though he doesn't talk much, you could still really do enjoy him. And Groot still does a lot in the fight, so Groot is more of like a visually impressive character. And since he is like friends with Rocket, I guess you could show that he still does like he still has his own like backstory and stuff, which hopefully they talk about more in the sequel. Then there's also Drax, where even though he's my least favorite Guardian, I still do think that Drax is pretty cool. Like, I will admit that his design is pretty cool, and I do enjoy his backstory as well, with how his family was killed by, well, not Thanos, but his family was killed by Ronan, the villain in the film. I do like that they did that kind of backstory with him. And then Rocket, my favorite of the Guardians. I mean, I just really like Rocket. Rocket is just hilarious in this film. He said, well, not just him, but also Star-Lord. He and Star-Lord do most of the jokes in the film. Like, there's this one scene where he wanted to kill Drax just because, like, he was going crazy at the time. And then, I like how, towards the beginning, all he cared about was money and stuff. And he was all having a fight with Gamora just because he wanted to capture, Star-Lord over money. And I also like that, how Peter was all telling him, oh, so I'm just hanging out with a raccoon, and then Rocket was all like, what's a raccoon? And then Peter was all like, it's what you are. My only complaint with the film is, oh my gosh, why'd you have to do this to me, MCU? You do this with almost every film. The villain, Ronan. While Ronan is definitely far from the worst villain, he is lame. Ronan is lame. I mean, he doesn't even make, like, a memorable final fight scene other than, well, I guess you could say another scene that happens. Like, Ronan does not, like, put up a good fight at all. He's not very intimidating. I guess you can maybe say that he has backstory with Ronan. But I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. With Thanos. There we go. Like, how he's working with him, trying to get the Infinity Stone. But Ronan. Oh my gosh. Not to mention that he is the dumbest villain ever. Rather than just trying to take over the world, he chose to be easily distracted by Peter's dancing. You guys will know this if you saw the movie. Yeah. But I'm not gonna make a lame villain ruin the film. Because I give it a 9 out of 10 all the way. Nah, I'm just kidding. I do not give it a 9 out of 10. This film, big time, deserves a 10 out of 10. And now let me talk about some of my favorite parts in the film. And I'm sorry if this ends up being one of my longest reviews, but it's just gonna show how much I appreciate this film. I mean, it's not Kung Fu Panda 3 good, but, like, it's still one of the best movies ever made. Not exactly as good as Civil War, but it's fantastic. And I really like that scene towards the end when Star-Lord grabbed the Infinity Stone. Once he grabbed that Infinity Stone, I was like, oh my gosh. And then all the scene where all the Guardians were like holding on to each other, trying to take in the power of the Infinity Stone. That was all amazingly done. And the music put in the background. That is definitely one of the best moments in the MCU. That and the airport fight in Civil War. That was just amazing. Gosh. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next episode. I only have 2 more MCU movies to talk about. Avengers Age of Ultron and Ant-Man. Alright, well, see you guys next time, then. So, goodbye.